Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Ink Report. This is episode 3. I am Justin.
I am Ken.
And we are really excited to get to this week's deck list. There were a lot of similar colors. We saw Amber, Emerald do a lot this weekend. We thought maybe from past weeks that we could see some Ruby Amethyst. We could see Ruby Amber. But it looks like this week was dominated by Amber, Emerald.
Yeah, Amber's really showcasing that it is the color to use and beat. And Emerald appears to be the perfect complement.
It does.
It's definitely the controlling percentage of the meta share. Mm-hmm. When you look at all these top decks, they're converting the best. Mm-hmm. They're just doing a lot of snowball type things, right, as all the better players call it.
Yeah.
And just creating unfair advantages.
Yeah, and there's actually 2 different versions of it. So we'll go over the 2 that did really well this weekend. So we had another Asia CQ, this time in Malaysia. And you'll see the deck list below. This time we had the Circle of Life version of this. We touched on this last week. We got to see a little bit of the play patterns with this. But can we just go over this a little bit briefly? It doesn't look like there's too much differences, but why this is still showing it's so good.
Yeah, we're starting to see the numbers really get tweaked. We're still seeing the commitment to the MMS line with Prince Philip, still leveraging Under the Sea at a 3 of. Stitches, sorry for my phone, Stitches getting us some card draw. Sully, just a 1 of, bringing back some stuff. But what we're really trying to do is go our first drop, which is a 1 drop or a 2 drop, and then you want to go into, like that Chernobog play with utilizing an Akud, and then just move your way on up. Just create a lot of unfair advantages by a one-sided board wipe.
Yeah,
nothing really special.
No, it seems like the kind of list that we've been seeing. Some maybe tweaked numbers, like you said. The Chernobog is becoming such a powerful card in this meta.
I am now.
Yeah, he's completely changing games. You could think that you have the advantage, and then just one of these comes down. And then with this deck, once Chernobog is banished, you have so many ways to bring it back from your discard. And so you're just playing this over and over, and you're always punishing your opponent. And in the meantime, you're always basically upgrading your characters to something bigger and better.
Yeah, that is one thing about this deck that you're really starting to see, and you'll see this in some gameplay, one of our matches. You'll see that not only does Chernobog control the momentum, but the deck overall then becomes a complete control deck.
Yeah.
So it's a very, very powerful deck, and it's going to take a while to master it, I would say.
Yeah, this is definitely not an easy deck to pilot, but once you do understand the basics, you understand. I think it takes a while for players. I know it did for me when I was first kind of learning this style deck. Using your discard as your second hand.
As a resource.
Yeah, as a resource. And this does such a great job with the Circle of Life, with the 1 Sully. And then we still have one of the best songs, Akud, in this deck. Sing that on turn 1, possibly, if you are on the draw, and then going into something much bigger. It's so powerful. And then really quick, in case you don't have much, what about the Todd in deck, the 3-cost Todd? This is a card that is in some ways maybe one of the better cards in this deck, even though it might not look like it.
Well, it's a good thing that you bring that up. We're seeing Todd even cross over into the Emerald, go wide strategies from here and there. But what this card's going to let you do is draw 2 cards and then discard a card from your hand. So you don't have to pick from the 2 you drew. You just go to your hand and you kind of sculpt your hand the way you want to. So it's a really, really powerful draw engine, fixing your hand, and just setting yourself up for that Circle of Life scenario. Or if you're against an opponent using Chernobog as well, getting something in that discard so you can bring it back or deter them from using their own Chernobog.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the great thing about Bobby, too, that we should probably point out. Decks playing Bobby, when your opponent's playing a Chernobog, you definitely want to continue to think about, are they close to that Chernobog play? Should I have something in my discard just in case?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that took first place at the Asia CQ.
Good job.
So we also had
Old Faithful.
another Amber Emerald deck, but this time the Princess Agro version that we've been seeing since week one. So looking at this has a few slight differences from last week. The biggest one that points out to me is the 3-cost Pocahontas that allows you to add 1 lore to a character for that turn that you play it. And do you think they decided to put this in this list so you had another shift target for Pocahontas, or why would they include that in this?
So I've played this deck quite a bit, and when I was utilizing this, it is exactly that. You want to have another shift target. It is a 2/5 body, which synergizes very, very well with your Dale. So you get the opportunity to swing back for 5, for 5. So you can really control your opponent's board in that way. But also, there are many games where you end the game like, hey, if I get an Eleanor right now, I can win. Yeah. Well, this is just another opportunity to add 1 lore pip to a character that's already on the board. Go ahead and quest for 1 more than what they have on their card. And it just creates a lot of, easier ways to win. And your opponent now, once they see it, they have to be conscious at whatever they're doing. They have to add that little piece of information to their head. Hey, they can play that Pocahontas,
right?
And now I got to deal with that extra lore pip. But you also glossed over the Camper Mickey.
Yeah, so that's
talk to us about that.
Yeah, so Camper Mickey, this is a 4-cost card, and whenever you quest with a character, you can reduce the strength by 2 of
as long as he's exerted.
As long as he's exerted. The good thing about him, he does come in play as exerted. He's not a bodyguard, but you are able to play him exerted to get his effect instantly. So this inclusion in this deck is trying to fight off that Circle of Life deck that we just saw with the inclusion of the Alandale, with the Churnbogs, things or anything really in that deck that we can not only reduce the strength to be able to quest freely, but this deck is now utilizing the Finnick. Mm-hmm. And that does really well Finnick, because Finnick only is able to return a character with strength 2 or less to the hand. But because of this Camper Mickey, that essentially turns anything into being able to bounce. So you can see the new strategy with this princess deck is there's 3 Finnicks and 4 Rapunzels. So this is their way of the little bit of control that this deck does have to be able to bounce those key cards to get that extra lore, or to control a song decks to be able to bounce the singer's 2-hand to stop things like MMS, or to stop Circle of Life, all those things.
A code, everything.
Yeah. So this inclusion is definitely a new tech that is really showing up in these decks.
Yeah. And one thing to note too with the Camper Mickey, it will come into play exerted again. We covered this in the previous weeks, but that'll also help trigger your Eleanor a little quicker. So that's always great. There are no Mowglis in this deck. Mm-hmm. We're seeing a full commitment to Ursula and no Mowgli. Yeah. And I think that's, with the reduction of Ruby Amber really being out there and in force,
right?
We're not so much worried about the Webby's Diary or things of that nature.
Right. So because normally you would want to run that to contradict, the Webby's Diary, the Raging Storms. But this deck is kind of evolved to a spot where it's too fast that you don't even need to worry about Raging Storm. What you do need to worry about is Under the Sea, Akud, and Mean, Malicious, and Scary. And that's why this is running 4 Ursulas. And also the benefit with that is you get to choose, whereas Mowgli, the opponent chooses.
You'll see Justin completely abuse Ursula against me very shortly. Yeah.
It's a very key card in certain matchups, and knowing when to play it and when not to play is something that needs to be practiced.
What do we get next?
Okay, so there were several others. We're kind of glossing over top finishings, but we're kind of glossing over because it's a lot more of that Amber Emerald. Specifically, the Circle of Life seemed to do very well this week. Yeah. But we did see some kind of rogue, some interesting decks that if you prefer to not play meta decks or something that's not mainstream, we are seeing that there are other possibilities. I think this kind of shows that the meta is definitely far from being solved.
Yeah, and Sapphire may have a chance.
Maybe.
This deck that we're showing you is basically a steel deck with a splash of Sapphire, but I love to see it. Sapphire, one of my favorite sets or colors from the previous seasons. RIP, if you will, but maybe we're back. This deck, interestingly enough, develops a draw engine with Launchpad and Darkwing Duck. And you have cards that really get rid of your draw, like Angel in this deck, but you really don't have much any other way. So you're looking to control with this deck. You're looking to do very mean things. Your Diablo becomes a villain bodyguard, if you will, as long as it's exerted. Just creating a scenario where you can really take advantage of all these decks being so low outside of the Amber Emerald Singers deck. And even their toughness, willpower and toughness is not the greatest.
Exactly, yeah.
So this deck really punishes those decks. And you're probably looking to curve out here, establish your draw engine and really draw, and just leverage your strengths, your Thunderbolts, and your Angel to just keep the board clear and do things. And here comes Robin Hood back.
Yeah, he was set 3. He was the card that it was any steel deck you had the Robin Hood, and with Robin Hood Shift, and once Fabled happened and the little Robin Hood phased out, we lost the power of that card. But seeing him come back is great, and that does well. There's a lot in this deck that when you challenge, you gain lore.
Yep.
So that's one of the cards, and I see this as a way of being able to maybe be a slight aggro deck, but with that control of steel. And then I see an interesting inclusion, which I don't know how this card was received when we first saw it, but the inclusion of Ursula. What do you think about that?
Okay, so I got about 30 of her.
Okay.
So I was really hoping that Ursula would pop off. I got really lucky with my legendaries, but they all ended up being Ursula. So with that said, I'm going to read the card because I don't play her. So this card is a 3-cost inkable. There's 2 of them in this deck. Its stat lines are 2/4 with 1 lore pip. So 2/4/1, if you will. It says, quite the bargain. When you play this character, I can't speak, I'm tongue-tied already. And whenever she quests, another chosen character gains a lore pip this turn. And then the secondary ability is by the way. At the end of your turn, if this character is exerted, put chosen character of yours into the inkwell and exerted. So we're seeing some Sapphire Ramp come back, and she's got, a decent enough sized body that, she should stick around a little bit. And it's a great way to go ahead and, maybe skip your inking phase and utilize some of your characters on your board.
Right, yeah, because this deck runs, it does run quite a few 1/2 costs. So those are great targets early game for her to be able to ink, to ramp yourself, to get to your Robin Hoods, to get to your Darkwing Ducks and all those kind of things.
Yep. Yeah. But definitely set up your draw engine. Launchpad and Darkwing Duck, you're going to need the draw.
Yeah, for sure. So, and then a deck that seems to be kind of on the rise. I don't have too much experience with this, but it does seem like it is the most powerful draw engine in the game currently. And that is our Emerald Steel coin Touch Paradise. Let's just go over a little bit what makes this deck so special.
Evasives.
Yeah.
Evasives. They're going to play the Todd. You're going to cheat out the Vixie for 1 less. Great stat lines. It does have the Vixie, right? Yep, there she is. 1/3, 2 lore pips. You also, you're running some things like Ursula to insulate you from the songs for the Under the Seas. Yeah. Then you have Mushu, evasive as well. As long as your opponent has more cards than you get to draw one you quest. Things of that nature. It's just, we're finding out it's a very, very strong deck, and it really preys on the small bodies that Amber, Emerald, the aggro decks kind of produce. And I guess you're really going to have to play this deck because it is beating up on all the control and all the mid-range decks quite well. I don't know if I would. I guess this would be a mid-range deck.
Yeah, I would agree.
But it's definitely leveraging control.
Yeah, and it does have the evasive, so you are able to quest a lot freely, especially with Amber Emerald being so strong. a lot of those decks don't have a way to deal with evasives effectively. So your early game, you are basically getting to quest for free to stack up that lore. And Mushu comes down, and you just continue to draw cards. You empty your hand, you draw cards, and it's finding out this is why Mushu is becoming the most expensive legendary we have in this set. And can we touch on why the name is called Touch Paradise?
Yeah, so what you're going to do on turn 4 is you're going to go ahead and play Paradise Falls. Then you're going to exert a character that costs 2 or more to sing Touch the Sky. Touch the Sky allows you to move a character to a location for free. When you do this, and draw cards for the lore pips. Is that correct?
Of the location, yeah.
And what happens with the location is the location immediately gets 3 additional lore pips because of a character there. So on turn 4, and most of the time turn 5, you're going to draw 4 cards, and then subsequently again 4 cards. This is going to give you a huge hand size bonus, which we all know resources are king. You heard Justin talking about leveraging your discard previously. You really want to leverage every zone to your advantage, and this card, wow.
Yeah.
This card not only establishes a location that has to be answered, but then a character moving there that's probably invasive.
Yeah.
Just singing a song and moving for free and then grabbing 4 cards. There's just a ton of value there. And the great thing is both the location and the song, both inkable.
Yes, yeah. So you don't have to worry about that. This is really kind of a game changer. I mean, once you play this, we haven't seen cards that have been that powerful of a draw. The only thing I can come to mind would be Second Star to the Right, but that's a 10 cost uninkable. This, both are low cost and inkable. So this is drawing you tons of cards. And then, of course, we have Eleanor in this deck too, because
of course we do.
And
Yep.
so once you've drawn all those cards, then you just put down Eleanor and you draw even more cards.
This, unlike the previous deck, or this, like the previous deck, leverages Angel as well, only as a 2 of. But with the amount of card draw, I can really see every turn you're just using that good aim ability that Angel has to do 2 damage per turn. And then,
and if you can work it out so that you can look what you've done, if you can discard that, then you can actually play it from your discard and deal an additional 2 damage. So there's a lot of good
and then they just bring it back with Max Goof.
Exactly, yeah.
So, it's a very powerful deck, a lot of resources. It gives me some Diablo Prince Philip vibes.
Yeah.
In the amount of unfair things you can do with very, very small characters, if you will. But these characters are not as small as some of those Emerald Steel decks back in the past. So, and a lot of them are evasive. So this is going to be a fun deck. It's going to be a lot to master. I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be putting some time behind it.
Yeah, I think I'm building this this week for sure.
Then I'm not going to play it. I'm going to look to counter this. No, but I mean, I'm definitely going to put some time and reps into it. What does this guy right here do?
Oh, the
Headless Horseman.
He's a 4/4 bodyguard.
So he's just well statted, protecting your characters, creating bad scenarios. 4/4 is a great set of numbers for the Dale boards.
Exactly.
So
and it's great for our Gaston as well, world's greatest Corona Mind. So it's in that weird spot where if you want to use a card like Red Alert, you can't touch it, as well as it's weak enough that your Gastons, the world's greatest criminal minds, can't touch it either. So it's a bodyguard that you're going to basically need to challenge in to be able to remove or have other removal.
Yeah, I don't see Amber Amethyst doing too much to this deck. Yeah. I see you kind of turning round 4 or 5, kind of turning the corner and just taking off, because that is the deck that is performing well, but not getting the wins that it probably should. So, what do we got next?
Well, that was about it. We had a few other tournaments, and they were all Circle of Life, Amber, Emerald. We don't need to go over those. They're all all have various numbers, and it's really kind of up to the player what they enjoy, what they feel most comfortable with. Playing kind of tech cards like
Gazelle.
She's a great singer.
Great one of. I'm getting reports that Gazelle is putting in work this weekend.
Striking good match is something that also is really good. It also synergizes with your discard pile.
Yep.
So there's a lot of things that you can tweak with that Amber Emerald song deck to play to your play style. So
Great.
It's really interesting to see the various different ways that you can play it.
We're going through the Lorcana collector's post as we're looking at these and talking to you all. And so we get to see the decks that he posted. That one, yeah, this one doesn't have anything too spicy to bring up except for maybe Mole Man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can go in a lot of different directions. I'm sure it's about a 38 to 42 card core that you don't want to touch, and then play with all the other numbers. But have fun with it.
Yeah.
Until you burn out on the color combo. So
I thought since the Emerald decks, Amber Emerald decks did so well, I thought that would be a good thing to show everybody the matchup between Agro and Amber Emerald and Circle of Life Song Amber Emerald. And we'll show you the matchup. We'll talk through some of the key lines. So yeah, let's just
go do it.
So in this matchup, Ursula is such an important card because we need to get those songs out of the hand as soon as possible. So I'm looking for a couple things. I'm looking for ramp. I'm looking for card draw, and I'm also in this specific matchup looking for song removal. So Ursula is a definite keep. My ramps are Aurora, so we'll keep both Auroras. And I also have Pocahontas, also a forward ramp. We can cheat out a 1 cost. Now, one thing I'm also looking for is card draw. And currently, I don't have anything to draw cards. I don't have an Eleanor or a Mike. Normally, keeping a Pocahontas shift line would be very good. But in this case, since I don't have a way to draw cards, I am going to put that away.
Amber Emerald songs with retro. I'm trying to develop singers, and I'm trying to get to that point in the game where I can flip the momentum into my favor, either with a Circle of Life into a Mean and Malicious Scary into a Prince Philip, or just a standard Under the Sea. So I'm going to keep the Vanessa, who's a 4-singer, Todd, who will cycle and ditch one of my Prince Philips, and I'm going to probably keep Mole Man because it's a 4 cost. So I'll mulligan 3.
I'll do 3 as well. 1.
Perfect.
So I have no use for a bodyguard right now, so we're going to ink David, and I need to get an Aurora in play, and then I will pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. Okay, so I drew a Malon Lee, which is great, can help me find it Under the Sea later. So in this situation, I'm just going to ink a Lenny and pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. The Queen. All right, I want to keep the Ursulas as much as possible, but I also am able to put 4 characters out this turn, which makes this deck so powerful. So I like the Queen with the 2/2, but in this matchup, it's okay to ink. So for 2, I'll then play Grandma Willow. So this gives me a discount of 1 for my next character, but I can quest with Aurora for 1. This will then give me a discount of my next princess. Since Pocahontas is a princess, I get a 2 discount. So now I can play Pocahontas for free. And her ability is when I play this character, I can play a 1 cost for free. So I get to play Aurora for free off of that. And you can see this is the perfect setup for this deck. Pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. All right, so I drew another Malon Lee because I have 2 of them. And it looks like my current path is to go to the Mean and Malicious Scary and Circle of Life path. My ink Malon Lee, and I'm going to establish Vanessa and going to pass turn.
Ready, set, draw. All right, so Pluto is not a great draw in this situation. What I need is something to draw cards. So I'm going to skip inking this turn because I want to protect Ursula's, and actually I'm going to play 1 this turn. So I'm going to move this over here. And what I'm going to do with my Grandma Willow, I'm going to go ahead and play Pluto for free. I will then use my 2 ink, and I will play Ursula. I will get to see the hand, so I can see that he has 2 songs. Circle of Life is going to be discarded because I want to stop everything from coming back from the discard. Ursula can only deal 1 damage, so I am not scared at all. So it's just going to be a full quest of 1, 2, 3, 4, and then pass.
All right, ready, set, and draw. Okay, so I drew the Vanessa. I'm going to ink the Vanessa because I'm going to go for the Todd play. I'm going to look for more cards. So this gets me draw 2 and increases my chances to bounce back in. I have to discard a card. I'm going to discard my Prince Philip, and I will not exert my Vanessa, and I would just pass.
Okay. Ready, set, draw. And another Pluto. All right, Pluto is definitely not a card I was looking for. So I'm going to pivot from trying to find cards and set up everything that I can, Eleanor lines or whatever lines, and I'm just going to go full aggro, and I'm going to try to beat before anything can happen. Not too scared because Ursula and Todd both are only ones. Yes, it can take out some of my characters, but that will stop them from singing songs. So I will start by playing Pluto for free from Grandma Willow. And then I use my 2 to play Ursula. I see 2 malicious means, so one of those will be discarded. And then we're just going to go on a quest for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. All right, so I'm in a really, really bad spot. Before I ink anything, I'm going to go ahead and play the Malon Lee, looking for another song. So when you play this character, you get to look at the top 4. So I did get the Circle of Life. Okay, so I'm not worried about the bottom, how they're arranged. So I'm going to go ahead and use Vanessa Ursula to mean a malicious scary, doing 1 damage to every character. And I'm going to take a chance and use Todd to go ahead and take out a Pluto. And then for the end phase, I would just ink an angel and pass.
Okay.
Ready.
Set. Draw. Okay, bodyguard. David is not really the worst thing in this situation. I know that he drew Circle of Life from the Malin Lee, so I need to stop the singing. So Ursula can sing for 4, Malin Lee can sing for 3. That's only 7, so I know he can't Circle of Life. So I do need to take out Todd. So with Pocahontas, I will challenge Todd. And then for 2, I'll play my bodyguard. And then it's just a full quest of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, ready, set, and draw. So punish for the mistake of doing that. However, if I did not turn Todd, he would have just taken out Ursula, the Vanessa. So in this scenario, I would just fold because the game is over. Okay, so this is my pre-mulligan hand. Thinking about it, I'm going to keep my Allen and Dale, and I'm going to play the curve into a Lenny, and I'll have a Cood. But I'm going to go the Retro Evolution device line since I am on the play. I feel like I have a little bit more time. So I'm going to mulligan 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then pass.
All right. So in this matchup, I'm always going to keep Ursula. I don't really like any of my remaining cards. I don't have ramp. I don't have card draw. I do want to keep a 0-4 in case I do get into that Dale. I can start challenging his singers. Rapunzel is great later, but not right now. So I'm going to go ahead and mulligan 5. Oof. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there's my ramp.
Okay, so here's my opening hand. Lenny is not really impactful in this hand. I'm going to go for my curve. So I want to ink the Lenny and pass. Draw.
All right, so I did end up getting a lot of good stuff after my opening hand, as well as an Eleanor on the draw. So I have my ramp with Aurora. I need to keep my Ursulas. It's key in this matchup. In fact, because I need to get all those songs like he has. Finnick is also really good to bounce his singers when he thinks that he's going to be able to sing a Circle of Life or something like that. So we're going to ink Thomas. We're going to play Aurora and pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. Okay, so I drew a Mean and Malicious Scary. That's nice and good, but I'm still just going to go with the Ink to Lenny play pattern, and I'm going to play out the Alan Adale and pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. Bobby. Okay, Bobby, not the greatest draw. I can see Alan Dale now. He has a singer force, so he's in the cood range, and he could play something worth 5 cost next turn. So that's kind of scary. So I need to go ahead and try to see if he has an cood and take that out. So going to ink the Bobby, and I will play Ursula. And then I'll see he has 2 Akuds, and that's a little unfortunate for me, but I will go ahead and take 1 away. And I will then pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. So I drew a Mean and Malicious Scary. My opponent is developing extremely slow, unlike game 1. So I'm feeling really good. So I am going to take this moment to go ahead and exert Alan Adale to sing Akud Edamudi. I will draw a card. And sure enough, I get a Chernobog, and my opponent has nothing in my discard. I've already thought about this. So in this scenario, I would ink a Mean and Malicious. And because I have the 2 discount from Akud plus my 3 ink, I would Chernobog, and I would get rid of the Aurora. Okay. And it gets shuffled back into your deck. And pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. All right, so that really messed me up finding that Chernobog. So my Finnick now becomes way less useful because he is already at singing level for anything he needs. So Finnick is going to go into the inkwell, and we'll start by using 2 for David, and I'm not going to exert him. And then I'll use 1 to play Thomas. The thought is next turn, whenever he does turn sideways, I have my Dale to take that out, or even threatening Dale is enough to maybe not turn it sideways. And then I will pass.
Okay, ready, set, draw. All right, so I'm kind of in a stally situation, but my opponent is not going fast and turning. So I'm going to ink a Vanessa. And for 2, I'm going to play a Vanessa Ursula. And I would probably just kind of assess the board here a little bit, delay my turn, and then pass.
All right. Ready, set, draw. Got a queen. All right. It's not terrible. I don't know what he has in his hand. I don't know if he has that Circle of Life. If he has a Circle of Life, it's not really worrying about it right now. He doesn't have anything in the discard, but I just want to get as many things out of his hand as possible. So what I'll do is I will use 2 for Ursula, look at hand, and I do get a song, Mean and Malicious. The thought about this is I can start going wide, and this helps me with Eleanor in the next turn. So I will go ahead and play the queen, and this sets up my next turn. I can quest with my smaller characters, get the card draw, and not have to worry about so much protecting my 0-4s. So I would pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. All right, so clearly I want to sing with Alan Adale and Vanessa, my Under the Sea, and I want to quest for 2 with Chernobog, and now I just want to turn up the speed of this game a little bit in my favor, so I will do so. I will Under the Sea. I will quest for 2, and I probably, because I want to use my ink, develop the retro device and pass turn.
All right, ready, set, draw. Yeah, that was the absolute worst thing could happen. I feel like I still made the right choice. I made sure that there wasn't an Under the Sea or anything in his hand. Sometimes you just can't help what you top deck. Well, this is really bad for me. So the thought is his Chernobog quest for 2, so I need to get rid of that. It's going to cost me a lot, but I can do that with Eleanor and Dale. So I have to play it in the right order. I have to play Eleanor first, followed by Dale, hoping that he does quests with Chernbog. So I'm going to ink Pocahontas, and then I'll use 4 to play Eleanor, and then I will pass.
Ready. Set. Draw. Okay. So here I would clearly Lenny. Okay. So now I get to see my opponent's hand. I see what my opponent is setting up. I think I'm okay with what my opponent's setting up, but because I know they want to delay, I would delay too, and I would not give them the ability to kill Chernobog, so I would just pass.
Ready, set, draw, Mike. All right, Mike was a really good draw in this case. We'll see what we get. So let's start by using 2, playing Mike. I get Pocahontas.
And I got Bobby.
Okay, and then I can go ahead and play Pocahontas, potentially getting the shift line next turn, and then I will pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. Okay, this is good. All right, so for 1, I'm going to go ahead and Bobby. I know I still want to play this Chernobog, but I want to see what else I get. All right, so in this scenario, I have to discard something for the Bobby. I just wanted to go 1 deeper and see what I could get. I'm going to quest with Lenny, gain a lore, and then for 1, I'm going to retro device my Lenny, and I can play a 2 cost or higher or less character for free than the cost of Lenny, and I will do this into a Chernobog, which will go ahead and bounce Mike Wazowski back to the opponent's deck and shuffled, giving me a lot of momentum. And now that I have 2 Chernobogs, I'm going to go ahead and quest with this Chernobog and apply some more pressure.
Ready, set, draw, Grandma Willow. All right, Grandma Willow, not a great draw here. I can see the writings on the wall. I need to slow down the Chernbogs. So we're going to go back to the original plan, use 4 to play Dale, and then Eleanor will take out the Chernbog, and then I will pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. Okay, so my current plan is, because my opponent and I are both extremely slow, is to just go ahead and quest my Chernobog. And since I drew a Prince Philip, I can't do anything with it. So I'm just going to keep allowing my opponent to kill things until I get to a situation where I can just quest out. So pass.
Ready, set, draw. Mike Wazowski. All right, so drawing the Mike does change quite a bit. I need to go as wide as possible so I can challenge into future things. So we're going to get Grandma Willow in play, and then that will allow me to play Mike Wazowski, who won,
Malon Lake,
and I'll get Pocahontas. I won't be able to play it this turn. As much as I want to take out Chernbog, I am going to delay a turn because I would much rather use my mics and everything like that to control him. So I will then pass.
All right, ready, set, draw for turn. Okay, so Malon Lee off of the Mike Wazowski was great, but then I top decked a Stitch, and that's amazing. So I'm going to go the line of Malon Lee first, so I get to see the top 4 cards and look for a song or a Red Panda, which I do not run. So I don't get a song, I get an Angel Sully retro. So I would look at the hand for a little bit, and then just organize it into what's best for the future win, which would be Sully on top if we get there. But that plan didn't work, and that's okay. So now I would just quest with Chernobog, go to 9. I would pay the 1 with the retro and tap the retro to banish Chernobog. I'm guilty of saying kill. Bring out Stitch and draw 2 off a Stitch. I would actually quest, because if my opponent drops damage on their characters, I'm going to use Stitch to go into Philip with the retro device next turn. So I would quest for 3, and then I would pass.
Ready, set, draw. before I do anything, I am able to challenge his characters with these three. So I will use Mike to quest, see what I get. Bobby, Eleanor, that's a great card. Before I do any challenging, I need to use this discount, so we'll use Pluto. We'll flick Pluto for free. Now I can start the challenging. So Dale will challenge Ursula. Pocahontas will take out Bobby, and then Dramamilla will trade with Alan and Dale. Then for 4, I will play my Eleanor. At the end of my turn, I'll deal 1 damage to Valen Lee, gain 1 lore, and draw a card. Pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. I don't want to allow my opponent to bounce back in the game, so Stitch is going to go ahead and swing into Mike Wazowski, taking out Mike, slowing down the card draw. I will go ahead and use the retro device. Inks for 1, banish Stitch, and then that goes away. Everything with damage disappears, thankfully. I'm going to go ahead and play Bobby this turn, draw a card, and then I get to discard. Probably discard Prince Philip. Probably go ahead and ink Milo Thatch. Exert, play out Todd, draw 2 cards, and then choose and discard a card, which would be, now in this scenario, Milo. All I'm setting up is that Sully will get back Stitch, and Circle of Life now will present another scenario that's bad for my opponent. So probably would get back like a Prince Philip. So I will allow my opponent to swing and kill again, or banish again, and by questing and pass.
Okay. Ready, set, draw. This Prince Philip is going to be really hard to deal with. So I'm going to just continue to try to go as wide as possible. So I will use the Pluto's discount ability to play the Queen. I'll then use 4 to play another Eleanor. And then I will challenge into Maylin Lee, taking back 2. And then I will pass.
All right, ready, set, draw. I drew another Vanessa, so I'm just going to go ahead and Sully into bodyguard mode. I'm going to grab back Maylin Lee just in case I do need to pull myself out of a scenario. I want to ink my Vanessa Ursula, holding back my Circle of Life and Maylin Lee, and I'm in the driver's seat, so I'm just going to quest for 5 and invite my opponent to answer my board. Pass.
All right. Ready, set, draw. We'll see what we get. I don't think there's anything that can do that. There's no way it can stop Prince Philip, so game over. All right, so welcome back.
Thanks for the beatdown.
Yeah, well, thanks. You returned the favor in the second game.
Took many more turns.
Yeah, it was surprising how lopsided those games were. It was game 1, I was able just to flood the board and do what I was supposed to do. But then game 2, your deck just did completely the thing it was supposed to do and shut down my deck.
Yeah, so what I saw game 1 was aggro, do aggro. Mm-hmm. And the deck lived up to its, name that it's aggro. And you made some good decisions. You obviously went really wide, said, do what you got to do. Yeah. I made some questionable decisions, but I didn't have a shot. Yeah. Let's call it what it is. And then during my turn, my deck was really stalling, right, which was giving you an opportunity.
Yeah, and I think I had a terrible start.
You did.
I was missing a lot of the key opponents and components, and I think that if you had not got that Under the Sea,
it's a different game.
It would have been a different game, but that Under the Sea top deck just completely. And I even thought I did the right thing of checking your hand and everything like that, and it just still wasn't enough.
Yeah, the 2 Ursulas.
Yeah, it was. So I did what I could, but you can just see the power of both of those decks, and it's not like they're like high rolly decks. They are very consistent. They can do that very consistently, and that's just what makes them such good decks in this format.
and Malon Lee can do the aerial thing and miss.
Exactly.
So it happens. So, but yeah, enough about our games. They were fun, but we definitely had to sit down for another match to see who breaks the tie. But
Yeah, so this weekend, this Friday actually, we have D23 in California, and on Friday night,
are you going?
I am not going. I wish I was going. But on Friday night, we do have the Lorcana panel being live streamed. So I thought what you
Nice.
do just to finalize or just to end the day by going over what do you think will be discussed there? What do we hope will be discussed? What are predictions that we might see?
DLCs. I want to know dates. I want to be able to plan. I'm not a pro player, but I hear the pro players loud and clear. And just even the just competitive players that are not considered pro, but maybe should be. We need to plan, no different than Worlds. We need to be able to plan around this. We're all living very busy lives, no different than the people at Ravensburger. So I'm hoping that's what they're going to inform us of. I'm pretty sure they're going to.
Yeah, I would think so. And I'm also hoping we'll see larger numbers too. I think 3 DLCs last season for each continent was way too few.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I really enjoy. I went to 2 of the 3, and I enjoyed them all. I just wish
You enjoyed Infinity.
as much as I could.
You had you had a great showing.
I did well, yes, but I would like to be able to do that on a more regular basis, or if not, at least have the opportunity to be able to do that.
Sure. More tickets, more attendance.
We're still not done with the season 2, even though season 3 will be starting this weekend as well for our CCQs and stuff. But we still have Continentals, and we have, more importantly, Worlds. Worlds will be here in Orlando at Walt Disney World. And last year it was a closed Worlds. We were not able to do anything with that as much as the community really wanted to be able to participate. What are your thoughts? Do you think we're going to see a closed Worlds again, or do you think we'll get to see some kind of participation for the every other fan?
Well, you're doing it at Walt Disney World, and we just saw the Curators Pack drop, and what that did, not only here locally, but, globally. So my head would be that this is continuing to draw more attention than it's ever drawn, which is a great thing. But it does overwhelm the system. So if there's not a component to offset the additional wages and, man hours and such, I think that we probably will see a closed Worlds. The parks are usually pretty busy 24/7 anyway.
There's no real downtime, and you're right. I mean, as much as we might want Disney to do us favors and stuff like that, we do have to recognize that Disney is a business, so it has to make financial sense for them. I would be extremely disappointed if it was a closed Worlds. I would like to be able to kind of celebrate, even though if I wouldn't be able to participate, and I'm not going to be able to participate in the main event because I'm not going to any more events, but to be able to be there, be able to share that experience with people, I think that'd be really special. But I do see your point, and I might kind of lean your way as well.
Yeah, I'm not advocating for a closed Worlds. I just think logistically, with what's going on with the game, the clear rise in popularity. I mean, we're on a roller coaster straight up. It's a great thing, like if the stock market was like this 24/7, everybody would be doing quite well. But, it's just, I think there's going to be a lot. And I mean, do we feel the timing is going to be in November, December for Worlds?
I would think so. I think that kind of fits in the timeline. That if there was a downtime, we would see mid-November or the beginning of December would be a good time for them to host it. The parks are a little less busy at
Or
that time.
push it to January. Push it to January. The state is inherently a little bit cooler during that time. Not guaranteed, but typically is. And park attendance is probably one of the better months to go.
For sure.
So, hey, if you're out there and you're listening, it's a long shot, but push it to January and give everybody a chance to plan it out. And, I think then you could probably do a bit more and then drum up some more attendance for that weekend.
Yeah. So, I would love to see Open Worlds. I think we'll definitely have an announcement of when it's going to happen. Whether it'll be open or closed, that be another story. I don't know if we'll get that. So then also let's talk about something that was accidentally released on the website when all the reveals were happening this season, and then quickly taken down and then quickly acknowledged by Lorcana. Let's talk about the collector's boxes. Do you think we are going to see more information about those boxes at this panel?
I believe so.
Okay. So
Why wouldn't you?
I would think they would want to show this new product off.
And outline a plan of how to handle it?
Yes, I have mixed feelings. Being a collector myself, it will be very hard to resist a box that has, alternate arts, has numbered arts, things like that. My only hope is with these collector boxes that they keep the same pack opening experience for the normal boxes. So those players that are just strictly players that want to play the game, find cards and be able to do that, they'll still have the same experience. But those collectors that like the shiny cards, or they like the limited edition, or the one-of-ones that you can only get from this experience, then there's something for them as well. But yeah, I agree. I think we'll hear a little bit more about that. And
Can we keep them exclusive to LGSs?
that would be nice.
Let's really help out our local LGSs in every market and keep it exclusive to them. We love the big box partners, but the big box partners are not stocking shelves when they do have the product, and or it's being relocated for the multitude of reasons that are probably all valid. But the average person looking to get cards, in my personal experience here in Central Florida, is having a rougher time.
Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of messages saying, "Where are you getting your cards? I can't seem to find them."
Right.
So it would be nice if they were just at LGSs. That way your LGS could probably figure out some kind of a system that they want to do, hopefully keep it at MSRP like most do, because they're mostly fair, which we appreciate you who do. But like maybe have like a reward system for somebody who shows up more frequently. Maybe they're able to buy a little bit more, but obviously just spread the love.
Yeah.
So please do that.
Yeah.
And please do that with future releases too. I don't mind the future releases going to big box stores. That's great. But it would be nice to get a little more control over the game. We don't want to be the Pokemons of the world.
Exactly. Yeah. I agree with that. So yeah, speaking of hard to get cards, are you expecting any reprint announcements?
No.
I'm not either. I don't think we're going to see a single announcement about that. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to see any reprints from any of these sets. At least through Fabled, we're definitely not seeing any of those reprints. I don't. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot from the Pokemon communities, and we're finding out from people who are on the inside that those printers are tied up. If there's truth to it, it seems to be the case because we had a very underprinted set this time.
Seems like it.
And we were told in August, don't worry, more is coming. And we haven't seen here, at least, any proof of that. If you're seeing something different, please let us know. We would love to go get a few more cards ourselves. So what about new IPs?
Yeah, I think we're going to see Pixar being more utilized. So my predictions that we will see announcements from 2 missing major franchises. So I think we're going to see Cars finally come to the game.
Ryan, if you're watching.
And that the Lightning McQueen iconic card is going to be
A massive
it's
chase.
going to be sky high. I mean,
As much as Buzz?
I think it'll be more than Buzz. But
Got it.
I'm just saying. I think Cars is that popular that we'll see that, and then I think we'll also see Finding Nemo. I think those are the 2 Pixar.
I now have a chase. I now have a chase.
So I think we're going to see those announcements. As far as non-Pixar franchises, we still haven't seen things from Tarzan. And as much as I would like to see that, I still don't think we're going to see Tarzan being announced.
Okay.
And
Kingdom Hearts?
Kingdom Hearts. I think people would lose their mind if Kingdom Hearts was released. But if we do see any kind of announcement with Kingdom Hearts, I think there's going to be some limits to it. I don't think that we're going to see all the characters that we really love from the game. I think it's possible that we could see announcements, especially with the new Kingdom Hearts being announced, being in development or whatever. I think if we have a chance, we'll see the Mickey, the Minnie, or Mickey, Goofy, Donald. We'll see them in their Kingdom Hearts.
But no Cloud.
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to see any of the
Square Enix.
Yeah, we're not going to see any of the Final Fantasy characters. I would think even maybe Sora would be something that might even still be off limits. So I'm not going to hold my breath on Kingdom Hearts, but I know I think the community would collectively lose their mind if they announced that.
I've got one for 2027 because we already know what's coming out this year. You ready?
Yeah. What?
All right. What if next year for the rotation set, we start right off with A Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh. Now that could be something.
It'd be perfect timing.
Mm-hmm.
It would lead right into that time. Let's not underprint it, okay? Let's get a little bit more print out there. Yeah. But I mean, my daughter would lose her mind. Like my daughter, my wife, my son, they would all lose their mind. Yeah. I fall asleep every time the movie's on because I've seen it 10,000 times, so I can do that. But I think that would be a home run.
It would be. I think it's really exciting. I mean, we're only on year 4 of the game, and it's kind of exciting to think these what ifs, because there are so many more favorite characters, favorite movies that haven't even been touched yet. So every time they announced at last D23, they announced Pixar coming. So I'm expecting at least something major, and maybe the Kingdom Hearts, maybe Nightmare Before Christmas. That's maybe something major that they will announce. That
maybe my wallet will be open.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's all we have for this week. We really appreciate you watching,
critiquing.
Yes, and
thank you for the text.
We have definitely taken note, and it's a learning experience for us. We both have done social media stuff in the past, but I don't think we've ever really ventured into YouTube or anything like that. So we're always trying to improve ourselves. We're trying to make it better for you, and I hope that you enjoy the format that we have set up. Especially that gameplay. Hope that it's helping you, hoping that it's maybe explaining some things that maybe you didn't quite understand before, or even just watching it. And if you do know how to play the decks, maybe seeing either things that we do differently or things that we make mistakes that you realize that you are doing it better, and anything that we're doing that can help you is great.
Yep. So thanks for viewing. This is our 3rd one.
Yeah.
So how about getting into number 10 real quick?
Yeah. We'll be back next week. So.
All right. Cheers. Thank you.
Bye.